ExamPrep.School, Arizona Bail Bond Insurance Agent Exam. There are 5 practice exams in this series. This video covers Practice Exam 1. The first 20 questions are free. In this video, we will be covering the following major categories for Practice Exam 1. Bail bond principles and practices, insurance regulation, the legal framework. Let's walk through the format. I'll read each question and its choices. Let's get started. Question 1. According to Arizona revised statutes governing bail bond agent licensure, what is the minimum age requirement to apply for an initial bail bond agent license? A. 18 years. B. 19 years. C. 21 years. D. 25 years. A countdown circle appears in the top right. Once it completes, the answer is revealed. You can pause at any time if you'd like longer to think. If you'd like additional practice covering more topics, see the description for our book. The correct answer is A. The Arizona statute sets the minimum age for an initial bail bond agent license at 18 years, ensuring applicants are legal adults. Reason B is not correct. No Arizona licensure provision specifies 19 as the minimum age for bail bond agents. Reason C is not correct. That age is commonly associated with other licenses but exceeds the statutory minimum for bail bond agents. Reason D is not correct. A 25-year requirement is higher than any state bail bond agent age threshold. Question 2. Under Arizona law, which citizenship and residency criterion must an applicant meet to qualify for a bail bond agent license? A. Be a U.S. citizen and reside in Arizona at time of application. B. Be a U.S. citizen or legal resident alien and maintain principal Arizona residence for at least 180 days before applying. C. Be any national and establish Arizona residency within 30 days of application. D. Be a legal resident alien with Arizona residency of at least 90 days before application. The correct answer is B. Statutes require applicants to be U.S. citizens or authorized to work and to have maintained their principal Arizona residence for at least 180 days before applying. Reason A is not correct. Residency must precede application by a set period, not merely exist upon filing. Reason C is not correct. National status is insufficient. Citizenship or lawful resident status is required, and 30 days is too short. Reason D is not correct. The required residency period is 180 days, not 90 days. Question 3. What minimum amount of proof of financial responsibility must a bail bond agent applicant submit under Arizona licensing requirements? A. $10,000 surety bond or equivalent deposit. B. $50,000 surety bond or equivalent deposit. C. $25,000 surety bond or equivalent deposit. D. $100,000 surety bond or equivalent deposit. The correct answer is C. Arizona law mandates that an applicant provide proof of financial responsibility in the form of a $25,000 surety bond or equivalent security. Reason A is not correct. $10,000 is below the statutory financial responsibility threshold. Reason B is not correct. No provision requires a $50,000 bond for initial licensure. Reason D is not correct. $100,000 exceeds the statutory requirement for proof of responsibility. Question 4. Which of the following describes the fingerprinting requirement under ARS Section 20-285 for an initial Arizona bail bond agent application? A. Submit a digital fingerprint scan within 10 days of license issuance. B. Provide a single set of state-rolled prints at the department office upon application. C. Complete live scan fingerprinting only if requested by the Arizona Department of Insurance. D. Submit both state and federal fingerprint cards processed by a department-approved vendor within 30 days before application. The correct answer is D. The statute requires applicants to submit state and federal fingerprint cards via a department-approved vendor within 30 days before applying. Reason A is not correct. Fingerprints must be submitted before application, not after license issuance. Reason B is not correct. Both state and federal cards are required, not just one set of state prints. Reason C is not correct. Live scan is not conditional. Fingerprint submission is mandatory for all applicants. Question 5. Under Arizona law for initial licensure, which criminal background standard must a bail bond agent applicant satisfy? A. No misdemeanor convictions involving dishonesty in the past 3 years. B. No felony convictions within the prior 10 years. C. No convictions for crimes involving moral turpitude ever. D. No felony convictions within the prior 5 years. The correct answer is D. Arizona statutes disqualify applicants with felony convictions in the 5 years preceding the application for an initial bail bond agent license. Reason A is not correct. The law focuses on felony convictions, not only misdemeanors or a shorter period. Reason B is not correct. The disqualifying period for felonies is 5 years, not 10. Reason C is not correct. An indefinite ban for moral turpitude crimes is not the statutory standard for initial licensure. Question 6. Alex Martinez is completing an Arizona bail bond agent license application. He was previously denied a bail bond license in Nevada 7 years ago, but believes that it doesn't need to be reported on his Arizona application. According to Arizona regulations, which disclosure requirement applies? A. Report only prior bail bond license denials that occurred in Arizona within the past 5 years. B. Report prior bail bond license denials only in jurisdictions whose licensure requirements match Arizona's. C. Report any prior denial of a bail bond license in any jurisdiction regardless of time elapsed. D. Report license denials only if the denial was accompanied by a finding of professional misconduct. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is that an applicant must disclose any prior denial of a bail bond license in any jurisdiction, regardless of when it occurred. Arizona regulations require full disclosure of any denials to assess fitness for licensure and ensure transparency. Limitations based on time frame or similar jurisdictional requirements do not satisfy the statutory disclosure obligation. Reason A is not correct. This is incorrect because disclosures are not limited to Arizona or a 5-year time frame. All denials in any jurisdiction must be reported. Reason B is not correct. This is incorrect because disclosure is required regardless of jurisdictional similarities. All prior license denials must be reported. Reason D is not correct. This is incorrect because the disclosure obligation hinges on the denial itself, not on any associated professional misconduct findings. Question 7. Under Arizona law, individual bail bond agent licenses expire biennially on which date? A. On the anniversary date of the original issuance. B. On December 31st of each even-numbered year. C. On the last day of the licensee's birth month. D. On July 1st every second year. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is the last day of the licensee's birth month, as Arizona licenses expire every 2 years on that date. Reason A is not correct. Anniversary date of issuance is incorrect because Arizona sets expiration by birth month rather than original issue date. Reason B is not correct. December 31st is incorrect because expiration is tied to birth month, not calendar year evenness. Reason D is not correct. July 1st every second year is incorrect because expiration follows each licensee's birth month, not a fixed mid-year date. Question 8. What is the grace period after expiration during which an Arizona bail bond agent license may be renewed with payment of a late fee? A. 60 days. B. 30 days. C. 90 days. D. 120 days. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is 60 days, as Arizona allows a 2-month grace period for late renewal of bail bond agent licenses with penalty fee. Reason B is not correct. A 30-day period is incorrect because the statute specifies a 2-month grace window, not one. Reason C is not correct. A 90-day period is incorrect because the grace period extends only 60 days, not 3 months. Reason D is not correct. A 120-day period is incorrect because the statute limits late renewal to 60 days post-expiration. Question 9. Under ARS 20-286, within how many days must a bail bond agent notify the director of any change to the agent's residential or business address? A. 30 days. B. 10 days. C. 60 days. D. 90 days. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is 30 days, since ARS 20-286 requires address changes to be reported to the director within 1 month. Reason B is not correct. A 10-day period is incorrect because the statute allows up to 30 days for reporting. Reason C is not correct. A 60-day period is incorrect because the time frame is shorter. Only 30 days are permitted. Reason D is not correct. A 90-day period is incorrect because the statute requires notification within 1 month, not 3. Question 10. Within what time period must an Arizona bail bond agent report any administrative action taken against the licensee in another jurisdiction? A. 30 days. B. 15 days. C. 60 days. D. 90 days. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is 30 days, as Arizona requires reporting of out-of-state administrative actions against a licensee within 1 month. Reason B is not correct. A 15-day period is incorrect because the statute allows a full month for reporting. Reason C is not correct. A 60-day period is incorrect because the reporting window is shorter, only 30 days. Reason D is not correct. A 90-day period is incorrect because the statute specifies a 30-day deadline. Question 11. Miguel Torres, a licensed Arizona bail bond agent, was indicted on felony embezzlement when the grand jury returned the indictment on February 12th. He was convicted of that charge following a bench trial on May 3rd. According to ARS 20-301, within which of the following timeframes must Miguel notify the director of the Department of Insurance of the indictment and the conviction? A. Notify the department within 10 days after the date the indictment was filed and within 30 days after the date of conviction. B. Notify the department within 30 days after the date the indictment was filed and within 30 days after the date of conviction. C. Notify the department within 10 days after the date the indictment was filed and within 10 days after the date of conviction. D. Notify the department within 15 days after the date the indictment was filed and within 30 days after the date of conviction. The correct answer is A. Under ARS 20-301, a licensed agent must report a criminal charge such as an indictment within 10 days of the filing date and must report a conviction within 30 days of entry of judgment. The correct option precisely matches those statutory deadlines. Reason B is not correct. Reporting both the indictment and the conviction within the same 30-day window conflicts with the shorter 10-day deadline for charges under the statute. Reason C is not correct. The conviction reporting period is longer than 10 days under the statute and must be 30 days. So, reporting both events in 10 days is incorrect. Reason D is not correct. The statute specifies a 10-day deadline for charges. A 15-day period for the indictment does not comply with the required time frame. Question 12. Under Arizona bail agent regulations, which of the following is a statutory requirement for maintaining a designated place of business? A. The business location must be situated within 5 miles of the primary court it serves. B. The office must be in a space physically separate from any residence and have its own exterior entrance. C. The agency must remain open a minimum of 40 hours each week to the public. D. At least one additional licensed bail agent must be stationed on site during business hours. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is that the statute requires a bail agent's place of business to be separate from any residence and have its own exterior entrance, ensuring clear boundaries and public accessibility. Reason A is not correct. There is no mileage limitation between a bail agent's office and the court in the statutory requirements. Reason C is not correct. The statute does not prescribe a specific total weekly hour requirement for business operations. Reason D is not correct. There is no requirement that an additional licensed agent be present at the office. Question 13. According to Arizona regulations, licensed bail bond agencies are required to operate during which minimum business hours? A. A minimum of 6 hours per day, 7 days per week, including weekends. B. From 8 o'clock a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m., Monday through Friday without exception. C. At least 8 consecutive hours per day, 5 days per week, open to the public. D. Continuously, 24 hours per day, 7 days per week for emergency bonds. The correct answer is C. The correct answer is that Arizona regulations mandate bail bond agencies to maintain a public office open at least 8 consecutive hours a day, 5 days each week, to ensure adequate access for clients and courts. Reason A is not correct. The regulation does not demand weekend operation or a 7-day minimum schedule. Reason B is not correct. There is no specification of exact clock times. The rule focuses on a minimum consecutive hour requirement. Reason D is not correct. 24-hour operation is not a statutory requirement for all licensed agencies. Question 14. Under R26601, how must a licensed bail agent display their license at the designated place of business? A. Made available only upon the specific request of a client or law enforcement officer. B. Conspicuously framed and posted in public view at the office during all business hours. C. Stored in a locked cabinet and produced for inspection within 24 hours. D. Displayed electronically via a digital screen in the reception area. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is that R26601 requires the license to be framed and displayed in a conspicuous public location within the office at all times, ensuring immediate visibility to clients and regulators. Reason A is not correct. The regulation does not limit display to on-demand presentation. Visibility must be continuous. Reason C is not correct. Licenses cannot be locked away. They must remain openly displayed rather than stored. Reason D is not correct. Electronic display is not an approved method under the specified administrative rule. Question 15. After a licensed bail bond agent delegates client intake and premium collection duties to an unlicensed office assistant, which requirement must the agent still satisfy under Arizona regulations? A. Retain direct oversight of any negotiations regarding bail amounts and premium acceptance. B. Review and countersign all documents prepared by the assistant within 5 business days. C. Ensure the assistant holds an apprentice bond agent license before handling any paperwork. D. Enroll the assistant in continuing education courses on surety law annually. The correct answer is A. This option is correct because only licensed bail agents may negotiate bail amounts and accept premiums. Unlicensed staff must be directly supervised for those activities. Reason B is not correct. Arizona regulations do not mandate a 5-business-day review period for documents prepared by unlicensed staff. Reason C is not correct. There is no requirement for unlicensed assistants to hold any form of bail bond license or apprentice status to perform administrative tasks. Reason D is not correct. Continuing education requirements apply only to licensed bail bond agents, not to unlicensed support personnel. Question 16. In a bail bond agency relationship, Express authority is best characterized by A. Authority automatically assumed to perform incidental tasks necessary to carry out the specifically granted powers. B. Authority inferred from longstanding industry customs or the agent's regular business practices without explicit mention. C. Authority that third parties reasonably believe exists due to the principal's representations, though not formally granted. D. Authority explicitly granted by the surety or principal in the agency agreement to the bail bonding agent to undertake specific tasks. The correct answer is D. The correct answer is based on the definition of express authority, which arises when a principal explicitly delegates specific powers to an agent in the written agreement. Reason A is not correct. This refers to implied incidental authority, not express authority granted by the principal. Reason B is not correct. This describes implied authority, which arises from what is necessary to fulfill express authority, not from explicit delegation. Reason C is not correct. This captures apparent authority which depends on third-party perception rather than formal grant in an agreement. Question 17. Which of the following examples best illustrates implied authority exercised by a bail bond agent in day-to-day operations? A. Rejecting collateral offered by an unrelated party when the agreement only authorizes acceptance from the defendant. B. Securing collateral documents and stamping bond forms as needed to finalize a bail, although not explicitly detailed in the agreement. C. Negotiating bond premium rates beyond the schedule published by the surety. D. Telling court staff that full agent authority exists, based on informal remarks from the principal. The correct answer is B. The correct answer describes implied authority, which permits the agent to perform acts reasonably necessary to fulfill tasks covered by express authority, even if not expressly stated. Reason A is not correct. This action is unauthorized because it contradicts the agreement's express limitation on who may provide collateral. Reason C is not correct. Rate negotiation beyond published schedules exceeds any implied authority and would require express consent. Reason D is not correct. This scenario involves apparent authority, relying on third-party belief rather than necessary acts to carry out express authority. Question 18. Which of the following best describes the doctrine of apparent authority in a bail bond context? A. The obligation of an agent to disclose customary operational practices to the principal. B. Authority arising solely from explicit instructions within the bail bond agency agreement. C. A form of authority that permits tasks necessary to execute express powers without prior principal approval. D. A principle whereby a principal's actions or omissions cause third parties to reasonably believe an agent has been granted certain powers. The correct answer is D. Apparent authority exists when a principal's conduct leads third parties to reasonably assume the agent is empowered, even if no express grant was made. Reason A is not correct. This option addresses disclosure obligations, not the third-party reliance aspect, central to apparent authority. Reason B is not correct. This describes express authority, which is explicitly granted rather than arising from a third-party perception. Reason C is not correct. This refers to implied authority for incidental acts, not apparent authority based on principal representations. Question 19. A surety agreement specifies that an agent must obtain written approval from the principal before granting any extension of time to satisfy a forfeited bond. When a judge issues an order extending the forfeiture payment deadline, may the agent grant the extension without the principal's written consent? A. Yes, the court's extension order automatically overrides contractual limits on the agent's authority. B. No, the agent cannot grant the extension without the principal's written approval as required by the surety agreement. C. Yes, the agent has implied authority to grant brief time extensions to avoid bond forfeiture if acting in good faith. D. Yes, the agent may grant the extension under a presumed statutory consent of the principal. The correct answer is B. The surety agreement's explicit clause requiring written principal approval for any time extension binds the agent. A court order does not negate that contractual limit absent principal consent. Reason A is not correct. This is incorrect because a private contract's terms limiting agent authority are not automatically overridden by a court's extension order. Reason C is not correct. This is incorrect because the express prohibition in the agreement supersedes any implied authority the agent might claim. Reason D is not correct. This is incorrect because there is no statutory presumption of principal consent to time extensions. Explicit written approval is required. Question 20. Under Arizona bail bond law, which of the following is required as part of a valid bail bond contract? A. The signature of two adult witnesses. B. A clause requiring the principal to post additional collateral if directed by the surety. C. A judicial officer's certification of the defendant's criminal history. D. A clear statement of the penal sum for which the surety is liable. The correct answer is D. The correct answer is that a valid bail bond contract must include a clear statement of the penal sum because statutory requirements mandate specification of the bail amount for which the surety is liable. The other options are not explicitly required by statute for a valid bond form. Reason A is not correct. Witness signatures are not a statutory requirement for a valid bail bond form. Reason B is not correct. A clause about additional collateral is not mandated for the bail bond's validity. Reason C is not correct. Certification of criminal history is not required. Only identification of the charge is needed. Enjoyed this practice test? Tap like, hit subscribe, and share it with a classmate. Got a question we should tweak? Comment below, we read them all. Find full practice exam books in the description or at ExamPrep.School.